Well, first tonight, the Greek Prime Minister has reportedly now said yes to the country's Eurozone creditors for a debt bailout. This is believed to be the letter which the Greek Prime Minister has sent to the country's creditors, spelling out the conditions his country is now willing to accept. Let's go now to our correspondent Martin Cudahy, who is in Athens. And Martin, this Greek drama seems to take more twists and turns by the day. What do we understand about the conditions that are laid out in this letter that's been reported by the Financial Times?
Well, interestingly, Bev, it appears that the conditions are almost identical to the bailout offer that was placed on the table last week, so it doesn't appear that a lot has changed. There are, of course, some sticking points which Alexis Tsipras, the Greek Prime Minister, is hoping to have amended within this bailout, and those are to do with the value-added tax, the VAT, particularly on the Greek islands, which are, of course, so popular with Europeans and people from around the world. So tourists, they want to ensure that the tourist industry continues to thrive. One of the other conditions attached is to do with the pension. So the Greek government had offered to raise the pension age from 65 to 67. Now, as part of the last bailout package, that was supposed to happen immediately as soon as that was accepted by the Greek authorities. But Alexis Tsipras is trying to have that pushed back to later this year. So those are two of the sticking points, but it appears, Bev, that we are a lot closer to a new bailout for Greece. But as yet, there's probably going to be another twist or turn in this case.
Indeed, and of course the Eurozone leaders, we've heard from a few tonight, officials saying that this does not mean, just because a letter has been sent from the Greek Prime Minister, that the creditors will accept the deal.
Well, of course. I mean, these are conditions that Alexis Tsipras is placing on the table. This is what he's hoping to achieve. But of course, Germany particularly will have to agree to these, because given that it is owed so much money, and the German Chancellor Angela Merkel has said that no decision will be made until after the referendum on the weekend. Now, there is a school of thought here in Greece that perhaps this latest move by the Greek authorities to accept this bailout, or accept most of the conditions attached to it, is politically motivated domestically. Now, that is because the referendum, Alexis Tsipras almost staked his prime ministership on it, urging citizens to vote no this weekend. So perhaps he's trying to get himself out of the position that he put himself in there, so that either way, whichever way the vote goes, he's hoping to hang on to power. But of course, Bev, that all remains to play out this weekend. Indeed,
and it is a confusing position for him now to potentially accept a deal or put a deal back on the table ahead of this referendum. Is it your sense that the Eurozone creditors will just wait for that referendum to go ahead before they make any decisions?
Well, I think that's probably most likely going to be the case. The banks remain closed here, so there is no new money coming into Greece at the moment, and there is a concern that the country could run out of money later this week. So the referendum really will determine which way that this drama unfolds, because if Greece votes no, there is a potential for no. So that means that they are rejecting the austerity measures involved in that bailout. If that is the case, it could pave the way for Greece leaving the Eurozone, so going back to the drachma. And I've spoken to certain people who believe that that is the best way for Greece to proceed, but it's very unclear. And as you were saying earlier, Bev, there's probably going to be a few more last-minute compromises and a lot more negotiations to take place before any sort of compromise or deal is reached.
Indeed, Martin. Well, we do thank you for that update tonight. Good to talk.